Hey guys, this video is about how to know what's the optimal ball flight for you. So I brought up Brooks Koepka and Rory McIlroy as examples. Brooks Koepka hits 0.3 degrees up on this one, so basically he's coming in level. Rory on this one's almost 6.5 degrees angle of attack up. And being able to measure the body and the club here is a huge part of analyzing this correctly. And Gears is the best in the world at that. So basically, if you kind of have a steeper angle of attack or a steeper approach, meaning the club's kind of coming down a little bit steeper, and you decide you're going to stick with that, that's going to basically promote more of a downward angle of attack. So the more we hit down on it, the more that path is going to be a little bit to the right, and generally speaking, the lower the divot's going to, the lower the loft is going to be, and you're going to take a different divot. So what you want to be careful of, you're going to have, in that case, kind of, if your angle of attack is more down and you're a little bit steeper, it's going to be hard to get really optimal ball flight for you, meaning that if you change that pattern and your angle of attack got more like Rory's, you could possibly hit this driver with lower clubhead speed just as far, or the same clubhead speed much farther, if you get the delivery correct. So again, I've given these two examples. If you're not willing to make the shallow adjustment, if you're not willing to get the hand path a little more underneath or a little down and the head behind it, if that's not an option for you, where you can't get more up and inside to out, then you're going to need probably a little bit more loft on your driver, and your ball flight's going to launch kind of low to mid. And if you use too much loft, that ball's going to launch really low and spin a lot, and that's really bad. We really want as much high launch and low spin as we can get. That optimizes the carry and the roll. So Rory has a lot of options here. He can actually hit low, high. Because his angle of attack is so up, we can just give him a much lower lofted driver, and that would keep that launch and spin down. Brooks here, on the other hand, has to play something a little different. He has to launch it a little bit lower because of the handle path. So really, your angle of attack really will determine your optimal ball flight. So at 100 miles per hour, if my angle of attack is 0 and my path is 0, my face is 0, and I hit one right in the middle of the club face and my ball speed's 150, let's just give that as an example. My launch, optimal launch, is going to be somewhere probably in the 12 to 13 range, and the spin's going to be kind of 2,500 range, and that ball is going to go roughly 250 yards, depending on, conditions. If I take that same golf swing at the same speed, there's actually about 30 to 40 more yards possible at the same club head speed if you change your delivery. So if I change my delivery from here to here, and my angle of attack got way more up, then I can launch the ball much higher. So if I'm swinging at 100 miles per hour and I launch the ball at 15, 16, 17, and I use a really low lofted driver, then I can get my spin way down in this kind of maybe under 2,000 range. Then the ball's going to launch way higher and spin more, or spin less, and roll much farther. So I have had a lot of success on this, where you're basically hitting it much farther without adding clubhead speed. Now, clubhead speed adding is a great idea, but changing the club delivery is super important to that. So I also see a problem where a lot of players change the delivery. A lot of coaches will change the delivery and get the angle of attack more up, but they forget to change the loft on the driver. So just like a tennis racket. So if I'm going to hit that big uppercut forehand shot, if I do that with a lot of loft on the tennis racket, the ball's going to launch high and it's going to spin a lot, it's going to go over the net. So we need a lower lofted driver if you're going to be in the Rory range. Like Bryson, I think, is like, 5 degrees up, 5 degrees to the right, 5 degree lofted driver. So the faster you are, the lower that loft needs to be. But that low loft is a huge part of this. It's hard to even buy a driver with that low a loft. So if you're going to change your pattern to be that more inside out and up, to get that high launch, you're going to have to go with a lower lofted driver, most likely a stiffer tip shaft with lower torque. That'll kind of help that ball tip over to the left more. So that's how you can optimize your ball flight with the same amount of club head speed. That's a good one.